Alright, here we are, the top 5 rogue decks of the new winter format. Like I said in my previous video, I'm going to be including Supreme Darkness and the Blue Eyes Structure deck in these lists, so that way I don't have two sets of list categories with just weeks apart from each other. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into number 5, which I believe is Kashtira. Sure, you know, Rise Heart is still banned, which it rightfully deserves, even though it makes me sad because I do like the card, but that's beside the point. Kashtira still holds its ground because it's still such a versatile deck. It has so many utilities that it can use, and Fenrir is still a card, so is Unicorn. I mean, the gimmick of being able to banish your opponent's cards face down is still one of the best removals in the entire game, aside from, you know, kaijuing over stuff. And the fact that you can have rank 7 cards in your extra deck with it, not only that, but zone locking, and you can even use the cards in as engines. People are using 2 Fenrir, 1 Unicorn, and the Rebirth card in most of their decks. Heck, I even used it in my Tempe deck when I went on the regional just a couple weeks ago. But yeah, the deck is still incredibly versatile, and it still can put up a good fight. But the reason why it's so far down on this list is because the representation of it hasn't been the best. So I feel like this deck definitely has potential, and if you want to pick up something that's fun, easy, and moderately price range worthy on your wallet, pick up Kashtira. Now, number 4, I'm going with Millennium here. Now, you could make the argument that you could switch Millennium and Kashtira either way, but I feel like Millennium has a little bit more edge on Kashtira solely because of the representation. But yeah, this deck it's a lot of fun, and it has incredibly good control aspects on the board. It can main the Secret Village of the Spellcasters because, you know, the Fusion is a spell card, or Fusion is a spellcaster, which, by the way, the Fusion monster is incredibly easy to get out. You just need the Ankh spell card, and you can even run the Illusion Rabbit with the forgetting the name of the card, but the trap monster that, you know, negates special summons. You know, you can even run that engine plus a whole bunch of back row. You know, the deck is incredibly good. It's incredibly fun. The only thing that I wish that it was better at was the budget range. It's still a bit pricey right now, but if you're able to swing it, definitely pick it up. Number 3, I'm going with Tempe. Even with the hits on the ban list, this deck is still able to somehow still be alive and kicking. Sure, you know, the representation went down drastically because, you know, people just kicked the deck to the curb, but most people, including myself, obviously haven't fully given up on the deck because it's just too much fun. I mean, I'm a sucker for OTK decks, you know, a lot like how Scott is, you know, big monsters hit with big numbers, go burr kind of thing. But yeah, I like the deck, and until the deck is like fully dead, I'm never going to give up on it. It's just too much fun, and I don't think that you should either. And definitely don't count this deck out because it will be popping up here and there. Now, going with number 2, I can't remember, but I think that this, I did have this at number 3 on my last list, but I'm going with Labyrinth. It's still the best trap deck that's currently going around, probably the best trap deck that's ever been printed in this game's history. I mean, like I said before, I've never been able to beat the deck. Not online, not in person, not in Master Duel. It's the one deck that I have a 0% win rate against. And to me, that says something. But yeah, it's incredibly versatile. It's able to main deck, you know, D-Barrier, Daruma Cannon, and so many other good trap cards that can be adaptable to any format, basically. But yeah, definitely pick up Labyrinth if you want to have a control-based matchup with your opponent, but don't expect to be the most favorable person at your locals. And going with number 1, Scott, if you're watching, I hope you're proud, but I'm going with Heroes. I mean, how can you not go with Heroes, especially with the new support that came out? I mean, Heroes as a deck or a rogue contender to begin with has always been great. It's just been ramped up with the new support. I'm even tempted to switch this with the number 5 spot for the meta deck, but until we actually see the numbers, I can't really be confident in those positions, but I'm comfortable enough to put them where they are now. And definitely, depending on how the format shifts once the set is actually released, this format could drastically change, or this list, I should say, could drastically change to where heroes could bump up to the number 3 spot or even the number 4 spot on the meta list. But until then, I won't really know for sure. But I think definitely it is the number 1 spot for the rogue category. The only reason why I don't think it's a deck for everybody is because it's very combo heavy. You have to know exactly how to do it, and you need to be the best pilot for the deck in order to utilize the deck correctly. But with that said, I feel confident in putting the number 1 spot in Rogue, and it even has potential to put it in the meta spots for the next list. If that does become the case, I'll probably do an update comment and tell you to switch spots on the list, but we'll just have to wait and see. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell down below for notifications, and stay tuned for my favorite list coming tomorrow. See you then.